Always gonna be another mountain. Always gonna wanna make it move. Always gonna be an uphill battle. Sometimes you're gonna have to lose. And about how fast I get there. And about what's waiting on the other side. It's a climb. Uh, welcome back to What the Hell. My boyfriend's over there looking at me crazy. But if you listen to this episode, you'll understand why I just sang Hannah Montana, The Climb. And the reason I sang that is because I stumbled upon a TikTok episode, or not a TikTok episode, a TikTok where it was like, of course everything is falling apart. Your new life will cost you your old one. And that one low-key kind of got me. It kind of put me in an existential crisis. And it started making me tweak, and I tried to film yesterday, but I literally was like I don't even know what to talk about. My life feels like I do the same thing. Like I don't like my life just feels boring. Like I don't even know what to talk about. But in all reality, I think I just needed to go to church. I didn't go to church for like 3 weeks, and I went this morning and I feel better now. So I think that was what needed to go on. But basically the reason that this TikTok like really stuck out to me was because I feel like I have just been feeling so out of touch with like people from my old life, like people from high school, people that I used to talk to like back in the day. Like I just feel like I haven't really caught up with any of them or talked to them in a long time, and that kind of makes me sad. But also like this phrase is so true. Like you're gonna have to let go of friendships and relationships that no longer serve you in your life anymore. And I feel like those friendships that I had in high school don't serve me anymore, and that's okay. And I think that's not just going with friendships, that's just going also with like who I was back then. And I feel like sometimes you have to hit rock bottom in order to be able to go up. And I kind of feel like that's what I'm going through right now. Not that I'm at rock bottom, but I'm just like, in your 20s, you're trying to figure out what you want to do with your life, who you are, graduating college soon, and doing big girl things soon. So I'm like, this is my last like chance to just be a kid, I guess, but not even a kid, because like I feel like I'm in between, because once you are officially an adult, like you're off. And I think I think I'm also a little scared to leave home, because I know with that means I will be leaving behind like my family and my friends and stuff, but I know that's like I know I'm not meant to stay in Louisiana my whole life, and I've always known that. But for some reason it feels like I'm losing a part of me going, even though I haven't gone yet. And that's like the weirdest thing to say. But it's like something I know that I need to do. But this phrase is so true, because like everything keeps getting better and better, but you have to kind of go through it sometimes to get to that other side. So that's why I sang The Climb by Hannah Montana. And yes, I should be on America's Got Talent or something like that, but I don't know. Sorry that I'm late also on recording, guys. I was on a little bit of a vacation, I guess you could say. I just needed a few days off. That's basically it. Um, I feel like I haven't really taken one off even with school, like even during finals. And I think I'm kind of burnt out a little bit, because I just feel like I'm doing the same thing. And like, I don't know, it just feels like life is not dull or anything, but I'm like, do people want to hear my opinions? Because I'm like, I don't even know if I want to hear my own opinions sometimes. Because sometimes I'm like, what am I even talking about? Going in circles. But I think it's everything is just changing so fast right now, and it's just scary. But I feel like if you reframe your mind and reframe your perspective, like it's exciting. Like, yes, it's scary, but it's exciting. And yes, a lot of people may be looking at me right now, but that's also motivation for me to do even better than I ever thought I could. Or if you feel like nobody, oh, that's okay. Or if you feel like nobody cares about you, that can also be like the best, most freeing feeling because you can do stuff that you wouldn't be able to feel like you could do if you had other people watching you. And I feel like that always was something that I really struggled with. Even like in high school, I felt like I struggled with, oh, your new life is going to cost you your old one. All you're going to lose is what was built for a person you no longer are. And that is from The Mountain Is You by Brianna West. And I've definitely talked about Brianna West, The Mountain Is You before, but that phrase is so true. Like, you can't become the person that you are meant to be without losing the things from your past that no longer serve you. And that can be losing friendships, losing certain characteristics within yourself, or just not doing, it could just be a variety of things, but sometimes when things are falling apart, they're actually falling into place and taking you to the next step. And I think that was something that was such a strange thing to read, but it was kind of comforting, but also kind of terrifying. And it's like I almost kind of dread that feeling, but it makes me feel like, and then the the caption on this TikTok was like, this action will have consequences and cannot be undone. Like, what is that even, like, that is so terrifying. This action cannot be undone. So basically, the people and things that no longer serve me in my life, like, I'll never get that back. And that's like basically a freeing feeling, but also liberating. But I don't really know, like, what is that supposed to, like, I don't know what my life is going to look like in 20 years, and that's, it's all about perspective, and that can be a beautiful thing and very freeing. Also, I'm recording this on Father's Day, so happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. Um okay, so I wrote some questions down from viewers that I'm going to now answer for you guys. So, first one, does height matter for guys? Um my preference has always been, as long as you're like I'm 5'3", so as long as you're like 2 to 3 inches taller than me, like, we're good for the most part. But like, also in reality, like, I don't see myself being with somebody who's like 5'6". So I mean, that maybe, I don't know. If it does matter, like, I just want to be able to look up at somebody, you know? Like, I don't want to be like, I don't want to feel like I want to feel like I'm petite whenever I'm like talking to you. You know? So like, if you're like 5'7" and above, like, for me that's good. But I don't think I would date somebody who's shorter than me. So for me, it does matter as long as you're like 5'7" and over. So yeah. Is marriage trendy? I would have to say, at the moment, marriage seems like it has a little bit of, it's like marriage has gone up, but I mean, that's not also a bad thing. Like, maybe a lot of people are realizing that they're in love with each other. Like, that's awesome, good for them. But a lot of people are getting married a lot younger nowadays, which is interesting. But I mean, it it doesn't necessarily mean that's a bad thing, but it does seem like it kind of is a trend. But I don't necessarily think, mm, is marriage trendy? Marriage is kind of trendy. I don't know. I've just noticed a lot more people getting married. Like, I feel like every single time I go on Instagram, like, I'm seeing a new person from high school getting married. But I feel like that's also just part of like your 20s and growing up, that everyone's just around you is getting married and having kids, and you're just still like, "Oh, okay. That's cool. Not me yet." Next question. Does the guy have to be older? Um mm, um I've talked to guys who are younger than me in the past, and I don't really think it's ever worked out in my favor, just because I feel like I want somebody to be, at least, like, it doesn't even matter if it's like a day. Like, it I just don't know why. It feels like somebody, if like you're older than me, it just means like you've been on the earth longer than me. So for some reason, that my primitive brain feels like that makes you more intelligent than me for some reason, even if you're actually not, which I don't know if that makes sense, but that's sometimes what it feels like. But I don't think the guy, I feel like that's just a preference thing, but for me, I like the guys that I talk to or date to be older than me. Um, how much does a cool car actually matter in the relationship? I don't think it has to be a cool car. I just think it has to be clean for the most part. Like, I don't really care about how much money you have and what's going on because I mean, we can always like build a future together. And I think it's better to have a cool house than a cool car. So, I mean, I feel like a lot of people nowadays, like, they have these, like, really nice cars and then they pull up to, like, a freaking trailer. And I'm like, bro, wouldn't you rather have, like, a nice house and then, like, save up for a new car, like, a really cool car? Like, that's just my opinion. Like, I feel like it's smarter to have a cool car once you have, like, a cool house. But I mean, or like a nice, I don't know. That's just my thing. So I just think it doesn't really matter if it's cool. I just want to be able to see my feet whenever I get in the floor, and I just like a clean interior. That's really all I ask for. So it doesn't necessarily have to be cool because I mean I am not like the biggest car freak anyways. So can you be friends with an ex? This is a tricky one because I feel like depending on the situation you can be, but I the only I don't think I'm friends with any of my exes. I think one of my exes I don't have on Instagram. One of them follows me, but I don't follow back. And then the other one we don't follow each other. So I don't follow any of them. So technically I'm not friends with any of my exes, but I mean there's one ex that's cool, but like we don't talk. Like I'm not friends with him because like for me there's no reason for me to have he doesn't serve a role in my life anymore. So like why would I continue to foster that relationship whenever it no longer serves me, which I kind of I guess goes back to the whole what no longer serves you will not be in your life anymore. And so like I guess that kind of makes sense. Like I feel like you shouldn't be friends with an ex unless like you have a kid with them or something. Like maybe at that rate like you should co-parent with them, but like I don't know. It's kind of suspicious whenever you're dating somebody and they're friends with their ex. I mean, unless there's like that 1% that they're just like they didn't work out for whatever reason and they realized it and they stayed friends and like they just stayed friends, but they know that there's no like romantic chemistry because I've seen that happen. Like even 30 years down the line they're still friends and like their kids are friends and stuff, so I've seen that happen, but I'm also like hmm I don't know, it's just a tricky situation because it's just like do you still like them like that, because that's like always going to be in the back of somebody's head if you're dating somebody and they're friends with an ex. So I guess it kind of just depends on that. I feel like people who are friends with their exes, like the only people that I've seen who are friends with their exes is Mary and the other guy from Selling Sunset, Jason. They dated whenever they were like 20 and she stayed friends with him for whatever reason, like she's his boss or he is her boss and it's on the show. I don't know. Sorry. I'm gonna just talk about my favorite shows now. I watched this show called Dancing with the Devil, and basically it's these two sisters, and they grew up dancing. They love dancing their whole lives, and I had no idea that this was like a thing on TikTok, but apparently it was. So these two girls are they love dancing and they have spent their whole lives dancing together, making videos, shooting content together, and the older sister eventually moves to California to try out for, I believe, America's Got Talent or something like that, or Dancing with the Stars, maybe. I think it was Dancing with the Stars, and she does really good and like makes a good starts like she moved down to LA and like started doing her own dancing career thing. And once the other sister graduated high school, the other sister joined her. It's the Wilkerson sisters. I think that's their names. I forgot. I have to double check. Maybe not the Wilkersons. I feel like that's wrong. Some sisters, two sisters that are like really big in dancing, and like if you want one sister, you want the other. Like they're a package deal basically, and they're shooting all this content. They're getting really big on YouTube and TikTok and whatever. So they're getting huge, and then the other sister moves to LA down with the older sister, and the older sister starts getting involved with this church, and she's taking a lot of videos, shooting film with this church. And this whole time, like, they share a car. So the younger sister's like, "Hey, I need the car. Like, where are you at? Why do I never see you anymore? Like, what's going on?" And then she's like, "Okay, well, the sister was like, "Okay, well, I'm hanging out with these people at this church. Like, you should come, like, listen to the word." And the sister's like, "Okay, like, if my sister likes them, then I'll probably like them too." So she starts hanging out with them, but she's like, okay, this is interesting. Not really sure, but I'm gonna give it a shot. And so she starts going to dinner with all of this the sister and her friends, and the sister gets a boyfriend, and it just gets really weird. And then the sister, like, stops the sister just like completely cuts contact with her whole family one day and like blocks her on everything. And turns out she was in this TikTok dance cult, and I had no idea that that was even a thing. It's called 7M or 7 something like that, and it's like this TikTok dance agency company that they get these dancers who are these like vulnerable dancers who had just moved to LA, who are trying to, like, starving dancers wanting money and wanting to find hope and get good roles and get all these auditions and make a career out of themselves. And then this man named Robert Shin, he's the guy who is the leader of this church, the Shekinah Church, and there it's been going on since like the 1980s. And basically, he tells you, if you want to get to heaven, you have to cut off ties with your whole family, and you have to abandon the way you live. You have to die to yourself, and you have to follow me, and that's the only way that you and your family will get to heaven. So basically, you have to cut off everyone that you love and just work for this man and give it's like a pyramid scheme, get very little money. And it's like still going on to this day, and I literally binge watched that whole series in like 3 days because that is so scary to me. Because like, I know that but like, I'm a Catholic, I believe in Jesus, and I know a lot of people believe in Jesus, but I think it can get like very tricky whenever you are trying to grow and become stronger, like become a celebrity, I guess, and like make money, but also try to stay true to your faith. It's hard because you're in that spotlight. So all of these dancers were probably like, this is the perfect way for me to stay true to my faith, but also please God and make money and just do what I love. And so that's what they saw it as. And I don't know, it's just a really interesting documentary. It's on Netflix. It's about cults and it's still going on. So, I mean, if you ever see like cult like behavior around you, just like be mindful of what's going on, because that stuff is very real and that can happen to even your own sister. Like, yours, because the sister still isn't really talking to her. So that, and like, she posted a whole TikTok about how she doesn't know, like, people are stalking her and her husband, which is so scary. Like, that, I feel terrible for the whole family. Like, this is such a sad thing that's still happening, and the documentary did a very good job of like making sure it was sensitive to everyone that's like still involved that's everyone that's still involved with the family or with the stuff. Yeah, everyone should go watch that documentary. Basically, the bottom line is, it's all about perspective, and everything that you think that you have to do is, think of it as you get to do this. So I have to go to the grocery store today. I get to go to the grocery store today. I have to go to class today. I get to go to class today. I have to bring my dog to the vet today. I get to bring my dog to the vet today, you know? And it's all about perspective and letting go of the things that no longer serve you, and knowing that even if the things that are feeling weird right now and the things that don't make sense right now, it's just leading you to the right place. So just that's just um my little rant for my people who have the Sunday scaries, cuz I don't know why I have the Sunday scaries, and I don't know, I just get anxiety on Sundays sometimes, even if I don't drink. I don't know why. I just get anxious on Sundays for some reason. But yeah, I love you guys. Thanks for listening. Check out my YouTube channel. Check out my Instagram, my TikTok, all tagged, link in bio. And I will see you guys next Friday. Love you. Bye.